I've been attacked so many times. Death threats, I've been sexualized.
Meanwhile,
Big mama, yeah. Big mama, that big mama.
She would take pictures of herself in a bikini and upload them to her lonely male followers on social media. Then Angel Reese would turn around and complain about being over-sexualized. Lonely men keep telling me to take more clothes off. It's so unfair. This week, Angel Reese, I guess, decided to take a step further.
In a week where the Indiana Fever dismantled the Chicago Sky by 27 points in front of 19,000 fans, one name stood out for all the wrong reasons: Angel Reese. Once hailed as a promising face of the league, her on-court struggles were overshadowed by her own contradictions off it. The same player who issued tearful complaints about being over-sexualized on social media just days earlier had no issue posting provocative content immediately following her team's latest blowout loss. The timing was stunning. While her teammates were regrouping from a humiliating home court collapse, Reese was uploading twerking videos with rappers and posing in thirst traps. These weren't leaks or paparazzi moments. These were self-produced, planned posts that directly contradicted everything she claimed to be fighting against. The public reaction was swift and brutal. Screenshots of her victim statements were plastered alongside clips of her dancing for attention. Fans, analysts, and even former supporters began asking the same question: is this about basketball or branding? If this pattern continues, the question may soon shift to whether the WNBA has room for someone more invested in their social presence than their skill set. Before this controversy disappears in the next news cycle, hit that like button, comment, fire the baby giraffe if accountability still matters, and subscribe so nothing gets buried under the drama.
Nobody, like you got no time. You literally got a bra on and booty shorts on with your booty cheek hanging out the bottom of it. Like, why?
I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats, I've been sexualized, I've been threatened, I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So
Angel Reese's recent media appearances were filled with emotion. Tearfully, she spoke about the constant threats, online harassment, and how often she felt objectified by strangers. Her words painted the picture of a young athlete caught in the unforgiving glare of public scrutiny, someone just trying to play basketball and be respected. Her voice cracked as she described trying to stay strong for her teammates despite the pressure, the hate, and the sexualized commentary from online trolls. It was a moment designed to gain sympathy, and to many it worked. But just days later, Reese's public image took a dramatic turn, one that sparked widespread criticism.
I have yet to see a single example of Angel Reese being a leader. Outside of rebounding her own missed layups, what does Angel Reese do? What is her contribution? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it. I know I'm harsh on Angel Reese, but she considers herself a star. If you're going to call yourself a star, I expect you to perform like a star, especially in big moments. Caitlin Clark was injured. Angel Reese was the only star on the court last night, and for 27 minutes, she completely disappeared.
After the Fever humiliated the Sky at the United Center, Reese didn't respond with game film or post-practice reflections. Instead, she turned to social media with content that directly undermined her previous statements. Thirst traps, twerking videos, and attention-grabbing visuals flooded her feed. The very behaviors she said made her feel targeted were the same ones she was actively promoting. For fans who had empathized with her earlier, this reversal felt like betrayal. Across platforms, users began piecing together the contradiction, the victim narrative versus the curated spectacle.
Oh, there's a lot of reaction coming in from last night's drubbing, destruction, annihilation, cremation, whatever you want to call it, roasting, sauteed, whatever your form of cooking may be. But the Indiana Fever absolutely dismantled the Chicago Sky.
While others in the league were staying locked in on basketball, Reese seemed locked in on going viral. The hypocrisy became the story, not her performance. And for a player hoping to be respected, That's a dangerous place to be. The stage was set for a WNBA spectacle. The United Center, home to NBA legends and the Chicago Bulls, opened its doors to over 19,000 roaring fans for its first ever WNBA game. But what was supposed to be a celebration of Chicago basketball turned into a public unraveling of the sky, with Angel Reese caught in the middle. The Indiana Fever walked into that arena without Caitlin Clark, without Sophie Cunningham, and without head coach Stephanie White. On paper, the Sky were the favorites. But when the final buzzer sounded, the scoreboard told a different story, one of complete domination. The Fever dismantled the Sky by 27 points, and the beating wasn't just tactical, it was symbolic. Kelsey Mitchell erupted for 17 points, silencing the crowd with each clutch shot. Lexi Hull hit milestone moments while reining in threes. And Ari McDonald, fresh off a hardship contract, looked more comfortable than Reese on her own floor. Meanwhile, Angel Reese delivered a performance that left fans and critics shaking their heads. For points, 2 of 7 shooting, -20 in plus-minus. For a player constantly in the headlines, the actual game told a different story.
Boston trying to be a safety valve, 8 to shoot. Boston this time working against Reese, pivots, puts it up, and one opportunity. Aaliyah Boston clearing out all the traffic.
What was supposed to be her stage became a showcase for Indiana's depth and discipline. And with every missed layup and defensive lapse, the narrative shifted further from rising star to missed opportunity. In a building packed with energy, Angel Reese disappeared, and the Fever made sure no one forgot it.
Angel Reese, part 38, let's get it! Life throws her lemons, she makes bricks. Bang! PSA to anyone watching, she is right-handed. Right-handed, by the way. She missed the rim by 3 feet, man. Bang! I gotta say, this is my favorite summer sitcom. Pecan? Butter pecan? Bang! Here's a stat. She's been blocked 20 times, and she's only made 21 hoops. What? Bang!
Angel Reese's social media backlash wasn't just rooted in timing, it was magnified by performance. In the hours following the 27-point blowout, while the Indiana Fever celebrated a win built on teamwork and precision, Reese was online posting thirst traps. The contrast was staggering.
But both teams facing a little bit of adversity, having certain players out or not at full capacity.
McDonald, a huge triple in the corner. Mitchell, patient in the corner, flips it up top. Boston, other side. McDonald, another 3. I'm loving it.
In one frame, she was missing uncontested layups and looking lost on defense. In the next, she was modeling provocative outfits, striking poses, and drawing attention to everything except basketball. The jokes started pouring in. Fans began calling her the baby giraffe for her awkward footwork and flailing attempts at finishes near the rim. Even more brutal was the growing sentiment that she invests more energy in coordinating her pre-game outfits than in improving her on-court fundamentals. A viral comparison even showed her post-game catwalk attire, meticulously styled with matching boots, gloves, and hat, followed immediately by clips of air balls and missed 3-foot shots. It wasn't just critics piling on, even neutral observers began to question whether this was a case of misplaced priorities. The timing couldn't have been worse. While Kelsey Mitchell was making statements with her jumper and Ari McDonald was making plays like she belonged, Angel Reese was becoming the face of a meme. It felt like basketball karma had arrived, swift, cold, and in front of a sold-out crowd. And with each online post reinforcing the perception that attention mattered more than performance, the fallout only intensified. If the 27-point loss at the United Center was humiliating, then the events of May 17th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse were downright catastrophic. On that night, the Chicago Sky weren't just beaten, they were dismantled by 35 points in what became one of the most lopsided results of the WNBA season.
Folks, there were people in the crowd getting there early saying, "Hey, Caitlin, can you sign my jersey? Hey, Aaliyah, can you sign my shirt? Hey, Sophie, can you sign my picture?" There were people asking for autographs in the Chicago Sky crowd that weren't even born yet the last time the Chicago Sky scored this little amount of points. There were people in the crowd who weren't even a thought in their parents' mind at the time that the Chicago Sky last scored at least 52 points, the lowest point total since 2000. 2011.
The Indiana Fever didn't just win, they dominated every possession, outworking and outclassing a Sky team that looked completely unprepared. And once again, Angel Reese was at the center of the storm. From the opening tip, she tried to impose herself physically, pushing players, initiating contact, and jawing with Caitlin Clark. But none of it worked. The rookie from Iowa didn't bite on the trash talk, and the Fever didn't flinch under pressure. Reese, who attempted to bring the same college-style intimidation she used at LSU, found herself exposed on the professional stage. Her shooting line? Just 2 of 7 from the field, good for 12 points. She grabbed 17 rebounds, but many of them came off her own misses or broken possessions, empty numbers that didn't move the needle when it came to actual impact. Meanwhile, the Fever responded to every shove with a bucket, every taunt with a defensive stand. They didn't need to talk. They let their basketball do the speaking. And while Reese was wrapped up in sideline drama and highlight-chasing theatrics, Indiana kept the scoreboard running. By the fourth quarter, fans had seen enough. The Sky didn't just lose, they were exposed. And at the heart of it stood a player whose presence was louder than her production. Following 2 devastating blowout losses, Angel Reese didn't retreat into the gym or the film room. Instead, she turned to her most consistent platform, social media. What came next stunned even her supporters. Mere days after making an emotional plea for respect and privacy, she posted a highly produced video of herself twerking alongside rapper Sexy Red.
Big mama. Damn. Big mama. That big mama for real. It's so proportional, like.
I know, that's what I'm saying. She talking about 200.
It don't even look like it.
That's what I'm talking.
Yeah.
Now let me see your booty. Dang.
The backlash was instant and overwhelming. Fans pulled screenshots of her emotional interview and placed them side by side with the provocative footage, creating a digital collage of contradiction. The confusion quickly turned to criticism. Comment sections lit up with calls of hypocrisy, with many asking whether she truly wanted to be respected for her basketball skills or simply craved viral fame. The contradiction was impossible to ignore. She claimed to feel objectified, yet actively produced the kind of content that invited the same treatment she was condemning. For those watching from the outside, the message was clear. The brand came first, basketball second.
Where I come from, this is tacky. There's nothing cute about this. I mean, yeah, what does that got to do with basketball? I mean, honestly. But don't you criticize her. Don't you do it, Rhodes. I mean, that's supposed to be, boy, that's great for a supposed role model to young women. It's disgusting. It is.
Even worse, this wasn't a fleeting story or disappearing reel. It was a carefully planned production, posted publicly and proudly. What had once been viewed as a rising WNBA star was now being seen as someone more concerned with optics than outcomes. The contrast between her and players like Lexi Hull or Aaliyah Boston, who posted highlight clips, locker room celebrations, and training moments, couldn't have been more stark.
Kathy Engelbert, no space for hate, but you got your players putting this kind of stuff out and you expect people to not be critical of it. That's what you expect. It's not going to happen. Your players in your league are going to get criticized. I've said I think she'll be out of basketball in 2 to 3 years because she wants to be a podcaster, wants to be a social media influencer, doesn't really want to be a basketball player. If she does, she might play an Unrivaled, but not the WNBA. Her game seems to be more suited for that league.
While the Fever built chemistry and culture, the Sky's most talked about player was spiraling deeper into a PR disaster of her own making. The most telling moment of the United Center game didn't come during a play, but before the opening tip. As the Chicago Sky warmed up for what should have been a proud homecoming event, fans in the stands were calling out, not for Angel Reese, but for Caitlin Clark. Despite Clark being sidelined with an injury, dozens of fans approached her with jerseys, posters, and cameras, eager for just a glimpse or signature. It was a visual that said more than any stat line could. The star power wasn't wearing sky blue. It was sitting on Indiana's bench.
Caitlin would never embarrass herself like that. No, she wouldn't. I mean, she just wouldn't. I mean, what are we doing?
Even as Angel Reese commanded more headlines and screen time, it was Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and the rest of the Fever roster who had earned the public's trust and admiration. Lexi Hull surpassed a career milestone, Kelsey Mitchell delivered under pressure, and Ari McDonald made a strong case for extended minutes, all without the drama.
Clark, She's been heavily scrutinized over the last, 2 or 3 years? I can't think of one time that Caitlin Clark embarrassed herself or the league. Seeing Caitlin Clark on social media twerking with Machine Gun Kelly. I have never seen Steph Curry publicly embarrass himself or the NBA.
Meanwhile, Reese failed to deliver in every major category. Her body language sagged, her defense was inconsistent, and her energy never shifted the tone of the game. Fans noticed. So did analysts. And as the fever pulled away, the difference between substance and spectacle became painfully obvious. This wasn't just a defeat on the scoreboard, it was a symbolic passing of the torch. The Fever, with or without their biggest names, had built a team identity rooted in discipline and unity. The Sky, despite all the media attention around one player, couldn't even stay competitive. And as the arena emptied before the final buzzer, the verdict became undeniable. Indiana had earned their moment. Chicago had wasted theirs.
Angel Reese wants to shake her ass and seek validation from lonely men. Fine. But I think what Angel Reese really wants, and this is just me speculating, I don't know her, but I think what Angel Reese really wants is to be respected. Kinda hard to earn respect when you're exploiting yourself on social media. Even though most people don't consider Angel Reese to be the face of the league, she does. If you're the face of the league, that comes with certain expectations, responsibility.
Questions that once seemed harsh now feel unavoidable. Does Angel Reese truly want to build a basketball career, or has the WNBA become just another stage for influencer ambitions? 4-2 straight blowouts against the same opponent, the pattern has remained unchanged. Low-effort defensive rotations, poor shooting, minimal leadership, and then hours later, a flood of social media content crafted for clicks. This cycle has become so predictable that even her critics are growing numb to the repetition. Reese's defenders argue she's being unfairly targeted, but that defense weakens with every twerk video posted less than 72 hours after delivering a -20 performance on national television. While other rookies and veterans are using this summer to sharpen their games and define their roles, Reese has instead carved out a space built entirely on optics. Her post-game fits go viral, but her stat lines don't. Her quotes grab headlines, but her game doesn't back them up. Rumors are even beginning to swirl about her long-term commitment to the sport. Some insiders speculate that Reese could be done with the WNBA within 2 to 3 years, pivoting fully into brand deals, podcasts, and social ventures. It's not hard to see why. Her presence on the court lacks urgency. Her progress since the season began appears stagnant. And the focus, judging by the timing of her online posts, is clearly not on basketball. In a league striving for legitimacy, depth, and serious competition, the presence of a player more invested in theatrics than team success raises an uncomfortable question. Is this hurting the game more than helping it?
What an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pre-game catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game of basketball? Now,
the storylines may be swirling around Angel Reese, but the legacy is quietly being built in Indiana. While Reese continues to battle headlines of her own making, the Indiana Fever are stacking wins, developing chemistry, and showing what a championship foundation looks like. They've proven they can dominate with Caitlin Clark, and just as easily without her. They've embraced role players, adjusted through injuries, and leaned on fundamentals. Their focus has remained fixed on the game. That clarity of purpose is becoming their identity. Meanwhile, Reese has allowed her narrative to drift into chaos. She's spoken about being misunderstood, criticized, and victimized, yet has done little to clarify her intentions through performance. The double standards she claims to fight are only magnified when her actions so often contradict her words. Professional athletes understand the trade-off that comes with visibility. Attention is earned through excellence. Reese, however, appears to chase the attention regardless of whether the excellence follows. In doing so, she has placed herself at the center of a conversation that is no longer about basketball. And that is the real tragedy, because somewhere beneath the distractions and the drama lies an athlete with immense potential, wasted not through a lack of talent, but a lack of discipline. In the end, the scoreboard tells the truth. 2 games, 2 blowout losses, one player at the center of both. While Indiana strengthens its future, Chicago is left picking up the pieces of an image-driven experiment that continues to crumble. If this pattern continues, the WNBA won't need to decide whether Angel Reese belongs. The game itself already has. If this breakdown made one thing clear, it's that basketball still rewards focus, discipline, and team-first energy. Comment, fire the baby giraffe, if that's what real leadership looks like. Like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because this season's only getting crazier.